Welcome back to another reaction for Journal with Witch episode 10. We are back to the journal. Tips from Makio. Vocab. Pick a main theme. Focus on what I want to say the most. Write with the intent to kill. Sounds scary. What do I want to say? I don't have anything to say. Nothing to say. So the idea about writing a song. I feel like she has a lot to say, but she does not realize. I mean, the whole more or less screw everyone kind of feeling. That is most likely where we are going with the song.
落ち着落ち着いたの？
いや、ひとまずね。
とりあえずお疲れ様。
いや、それがさ、ちょっとぐらい愚痴ってもいいか。
あら珍しい。
弱音を吐く人になったんだよ、俺は。
どうぞ。
あの環境の親父が倒れるとは、そりゃびっくりもしたんだけどさ。それ以上に何が参ったって、すっげえ偉そうにしやがってさ、病院の人
Understandable.
たちに。
号機が大丈夫？それ聞かれない？
大丈夫だよ、外だから。いやあはなりたくないと思ったね。看護師さんに「おい!」とか言っちゃって、倒れてなお嫌なやつだとはほんと呆れた。
そっか。
まあ無事な証拠でもあるんだけどさ。
笠町くん、ゆっくりでも解けるといいね。あなたの呪縛。
お互い。君はもうだいぶ解けてると思うが。
まあ良きところを次。
呪縛。呪縛。
Okay. I do like that we see Makio enjoying her conversation with her man. Very nice. And also understanding that he is still living under his father. It is scary how easily we are shaped as children. And you see that in effect here, more or less in all of these characters, how little things in their childhood have shaped them, how they grew up.
エミリー、スープは？
食べる。パンはいい。
自分で持ってって。高校生なんだから。
はーい。
パパ、新聞しまって。エミリー、お弁
First of all, I mean, nice little breakfast. I guess enough for him. I assume she is a little bit miffed because he didn't need to get his food. But she does. He is also, I mean, he's not in high school anymore. But he's getting waited
エ
on.
ミリー、お弁当忘れないでね。
はーい。
マキオさんもお弁当大変だって言ってたわね。ねえ、小説家だと徹夜も多いのかな。
知らない。この前遊びに行ったら、昼間からビール飲んでて受けた。
What the fuck is going on? The
この前遊びに行ったら、昼間からビール飲ん
her dress underneath the white coat is a nice sight. She's a scientist. Shut up. Very weird. Also, I feel like this is going to play into the role of love and stuff. Because this is still hanging in the air somewhat.
読んでて受けた。
ママもやりたい。
これ今なら完全にセクハラだな。
その言い方がすでにセクハラなんだけど。
え？
今も昔も。
あ、うん。
いつもの通学路、人並み、走る子供、白い息、自動販売機の
Prime coffee. So, is that a translation? I guess not. Because I would be like, why are you translating that? That is literally translated.
とポス
But I guess it's an... Maybe it is dual language? I don't know.
笑う。いや、自転車、電車、社会見学、雲、電車、社会見学、
So she's playing, what is it called, Shiratori or whatever, where you use the last syllable to form a new word.
雲、
Alone.
モモンガ、街路樹、呪縛。しりとりになっちゃった。
エミ
エミリー、
お
Who?
おーチッチー。
Ichi?
朝もチッチチオチッチとは科学が一緒なの。へえ。
エミリーは来年理系クラスでご一緒だからね。
ご一緒って。
エミリ理系にするの？
なんだかんだね。
てかエミリーって
英語風。
相談してたんだ。理系だからチッチ。
私医者になるから。
へえ。
うち両親とも医者だからさ。
すごいよね。
カエルの子はみたいでなんだけどね。
じゃあね。さくらおはよう。おはよう。ねえ、数学いきなり小テ
Everyone has a lot of people they know, I guess.
ストだって。
言ってたよ去年。
覚えてね。
She does feel a little bit like Makio from her style. There's a lot of stuff going on. Which, if I try to remember, I feel like there was always a lot of stuff going on in the start of the school day. But you ignore a lot of the stuff. I was always very tunnel visioned. Didn't really care about too much other stuff going on. So if you take a little bit of time to look around, stuff is pretty busy.
死ぬ気で走る野球部が走る。
マジ？早すぎでしょ。来た来た。
ん？
ちょっと聞いて。ん？
篠崎、今橋場と付き合ってんだって。
やっば。
何そのリアクション。
She doesn't care.
だってどうでもいいし。
あんなにエミリに言い寄ってたんだよ。
She was not interested. And to be honest, good on him. Moving on. Now, I hope that he moved on to the new girl and he's true to, he has real feelings and is not doing it for just trying to make her jealous or whatever. Because that is, it's a little bit fast, I would say, but otherwise healthy to be able to move on to someone who is willing to give you a chance
切り替
instead of just being occupied with the potential of someone that you wanted to date before.
え早くないいいよ別に好きじゃないしやばい余裕がえぐいうるさい
始めるぞ席つけ
同じ心ならん人としめやかに物語しておかしきことも
Okay, I guess this is some kind of story again around love and relationships, and Emery has a different viewpoint. I don't know if it's only related to the attraction to specific genders, or is it maybe a general that she does not really have any of these romantic feelings.
しきことも世の儚きことも裏なく言い慰まんこそ嬉しかるべきに去る人あるまじければつゆたがわざらんと迎え至らんはただ一人ある
みんな
I guess it was not around relationships. Never mind then.
元に習って復習するように
全部授業でやっ
来月は
理系
期末テストあるからな
And the same class, huh?
テストは満点
通常授業始めるぞ
空は曇天
200
テストどうだった
やばい全然勉強してなかった
俺も
Yeah, I didn't want to read that anyway. Hey, come on. However, she is writing down some stuff. So slowly but surely, she finds stuff you may want to talk about.
えマジでああ
Sometimes you want to talk about the stuff that you didn't know you want to talk about. You can talk about stuff that other people talked about that you may not understand.
え今日って何日
ただいま
ああまあいいや それ
Okay.
で
I guess manager,
それは何日
editor.
あいや覚えてないですよ覚えないけどわかった本人に聞いてみる彼女は第一で
So I guess it's the lawyer or whatever.
Huh.
Mom.
あのさあ
ただいま
あうんおかえりあのさそろそろんあいやそっか
え何
あなた誕生日いつ
9月4日
おおはごめん
A little bit late.
完全にスルーしてた
なんかマキオちゃんのもやらないみたいだし
Yeah, but it's different. She doesn't see a reason to celebrate her birthday, but your birthday can be celebrated, especially since you're a child. What I loved for my birthday was not really the presents. In hindsight, the presents, I mean, I got so much. As a child, I wanted so much crap that I never used. Do not like that from my childhood. But what I really loved was because we have like a little bungalow where we would stay in the summer, and if I wanted to go to the toilet, I needed to go through the main living room, and that is where my parents were sleeping. What my mom did was I went to sleep, and after I went to sleep, she prepared on the little table. It was just a little small glass table. There was like a little cake, a bunch of little treats, the little bonbons, little gummies, every little bit of sweet treats, and a little candle. And whenever I was waking up, I see the whole table full of little stuff for me. That was, in my opinion, the best thing I got on birthday every year. And then we could sit around the table, eat a little bit of the cake. My mom would drink coffee. We would have a little chat, and that was essentially the best part of my birthday. So, as a child, I feel like you want to celebrate the birthday, especially as parents for your child. So, even if she doesn't celebrate Makio, Asa should get at least a little bit.
そういうのはスルーするしきたりなのかなって。
そんなしきたりはない。てか私のはいいのよ。大人には飲み食いする口実がいろいろあるんだから。ごめん、今年はやろう。私のも。
I mean, this year is, for her birthday, is like 9 months away. Depending on when Makio has her birthday, you could maybe pull last year's birthday into that. Make it a communal birthday this year.
あなたのも。
お、うん。
それからスルーしちゃった去年の分も共同生活1年お疲れ様会に変えて何かやろう。
That is also an option that I also thought about. The 1 year anniversary, you could have a little bit of a present.
おお、はい。
うん。それともう一つ、これが本題なんだけど、ご両親が亡くなってからもうすぐ1年。
Ooh.
もしそれに際してあなたのやりたいことがあるならそれも。
やりたいこと。
何でもいい。お墓参りとか、お坊さんを呼んでくるとか、そういう多くの人がやるようなことでもいいし、ただ私や誰かと話をするとか、まあ何でも。もちろん何もしたくないというのもあり。
I mean, that is a very solid add-on. Doing nothing is also an option. Because before this, you were more or less putting the pressure on her, especially with the part of whatever you like, which she has a problem with. If you don't give her some real options, she has a problem finding her own. So the ability to do nothing, very welcome.
何もしたくないというのもあり。考えといて。
I don't know what you would do. Straight up, I have no idea.
いつでもいいから。
はーい。
今日はありがとね、ジュノさん。楽しかった。
ガス抜きになったんなら何より。まあ大変だね、突然のガキンチョは。
まあね。
犬みたいだったな、シバ。
それ前も誰か言ってた。目かな。まあ彼女が大学に入るか成人するか、とりあえずそれまでだから、あと数年は頑張るよ。
広大さん、それは甘くない？
え？
私なんてもういい年だけどさ。二 母の前ではいつだって結局子供だよ。
She is not wrong. She is not wrong. You are still a child in front of your parents. Not only your parents see you as a child most of the time. You also like to pretend to be the child. You know, not a 100% the child, but you know, you are your parents' left child always. So you like to be pampered every now and then.
だからあの子も、いや、親でも娘でもないんだけどさ、君らの場合。でもだとしてもさ、何かあるんじゃないかな。大人になったその先もきっとずっと悪魔の契約みたいなもんじゃない？言い方。
That sounds, yeah, insane. Pact with the devil.
あれだけど、いつまでとかここまではなんてそんなきっぱり追われるもんではないと思うよ。
そうか。そうだね。
そうだよ。
あ、そうだ。ジュノさんに一つお願いがあったんだ。
何？怖いんだけど。
前に見せてくれたジュノさんの小さい頃の写真。あれデータで送ってよ。
え？なんで？
大好きなの、あれ。お願い。スランプ脱出のために。ね。
スランプ関係なくない？やだ
お願い。ああ、かわいい。永久保存もった。
だとしてもさ、何かあるんじゃないかな。大人になったその先もきっとずっと。
お姉ちゃん、お母さんが写真撮るって。また？早く。
またって1年ぶりじゃない。
お姉ちゃん、早く。
って負けをふざけるんだもん。
いいじゃない。大人になって見返した時にありがたいと思うわよ。
At that point, everything seemed fine.
死にたくなかっただろうな。
Newsflash, most people don't want to die. A lot of the people that believe they want to also don't want to die. There are many situations where you think you want to, but a little bit later on, whenever whatever brought you down that much is slowly going away, your thought is mostly, I'm glad nothing happened. Also, a lot of people are unwilling to do it themselves, which makes sense.
たくみたくみたくみたくみ、ビッグニ
We get to play, I guess.
ュース。
なに聞いた？ 4月軽音部で新入生歓迎の校内ストリートライブやるんだって。
どこで？
中庭のコンコース。
Okay. And?
すごいね。
そうじゃない。
そのボーカルをオーディションで決めるんだってさ。
だから
俺たちも受けようぜって話。巡ってきたんだよ、チャンスが。
But only for the lead vocalist?
いいじゃん、どうせ。
New club captain.
アコギ一本だし。
Second year. Interesting.
新体制の一発目、全体を思いっきりシャッフルする感じで。応募条件はなし。
でも歌詞はまだオリジナルの歌詞かけてないのに。
いらない既存の曲でいいみたい。
得意なやつぶちかまそうぜ、たくみ。ね。
I mean, the other two seem to really gun for this position, at least for this little concert. Meanwhile, Asa is like, it doesn't seem like she is that interested. She's more interested in writing a song, I guess. Even though, if we can believe what Makio said, he has seemingly a good voice.
なあ、俺たちもさ、オリジナルで勝負してみね。
あんたそれ本気で言ってる？
ああ、いつまでもその他大勢でいたくねえんだ、俺は。
オリジナルね。
だったら私歌詞考える。曲作る才能はないけど、歌詞なら多分なんとか。おばさんも小説なんて誰でも書けるって言ってたし。
いや、それは嘘でしょ。
I mean, everyone can write. Writing is not forbidden. You can write whatever you want. It doesn't need to be a novel. It doesn't need to be pretty. It doesn't need to make much sense. You can just write. The same, I mean, I'm doing the same with speaking. A lot of the stuff I'm saying doesn't make sense. Some of it is unfinished. So you can do the same in written form.
よし、じゃあ俺も考える。出し合えば1曲ぐらい。
やだ、じゃあ私もやる。置いてかないで。
Maybe that is what her problem is. They were like, hey, let's do a song together. And now they are like, oh, we don't need the song anymore.
よし、じゃあ宿題な。
But you can still go and try to be the lead vocalist and make a song.
なんかこれ、流れ変わる気がする。
頑張ろう。
よし、やるぞ。
おお。何だったんだあの時間は。
It should also not stop you from writing the lyrics for a song. Don't like the dad.
呪縛。
And the song doesn't have to always be positive as well. I feel like that she could have the problem of being that she wants to force her song to be a specific way, but you don't need to. It can be sad, it can be happy, it can go every direction. There's this one song, you probably know it, supposedly about depression and stuff, but the song itself is like pretty upbeat and somewhat happy, energizing, but the topic is not that. So you can also do that. You can have the gap between the song, the lyrics, and the music. It works well in some cases.
模試やばいんだけど。
私も。
結局さ、いい大学に入ったところでって話でしょ。
I'm very interested on what is going on with her. So far, it just seems like she's not interested in romance. She may not have romantic feelings at all. She also doesn't want to talk about it, maybe.
ね、女が勉強できたってさ、どうせ結婚するし。
マキオさんが聞いたらキレそう。いや無視か。相手にする価値もないなんて。
Why are you thinking about Makio? Interesting. Definitely can understand why she did this. interesting. So we have different headspaces going on. Whenever Asa is in her head, she's like in a desert, trying to make sense of it, being lost. And Emery is at a beach. It also seems very, very serene, very nice, relaxing. I never got to meditate. Maybe this is more or less something similar to a meditative state. You're just relaxed. You're in your own little world. Because I feel like if you even can get a little bit of that smell, even if it's an illusion, you can probably spend a lot of time in this world. I can only imagine the warmth, the nice breeze going on, the smell of the sea, the sun going down on you. This feels very relaxing. Not too cold, not too warm. Already ate.
ミリちゃんごめん、書類の提出で引っかかっちゃって。お待たせ。
Who's that? Who are you? Also, we don't really have any connection beforehand. I mean, it's already dark. But the guys are gone. So a little bit time has passed. But probably not too much. Maybe like 10-15 minutes.
書類の提出で引っかかっちゃって。お待たせ。先帰っちゃうとこだった。ごめんって。マジ？厳しくない？女子校ってそんなもんだよ。
Mm-hmm. How do you know each other? Is it from old school?
あ、おや？いや、友達。前に話した。幼なじみ、親が死んじゃった。ああ、かわいそうだよね。なんか全然想像できない。なんていうか、家族ごと仲良くしてたし、家に泊まりに行ったりもしてたからさ、私もかなりショックで。ショックだったんだけど。なんかさ、思っちゃったんだ、私。
That is insane. Holy shit. I was like, okay, maybe say this is a normal night. But being like, hey, you up? Yeah, what's up? Yeah, my parents died. What the fuck?
もう絶対友達やめられないじゃんって。
That is not a good way to see it like that.
ひどいよね。今でもたまに思うし、なんか重くて。
でも、やめてないんでしょ、友達。やめてないじゃん、ミリちゃん。
やめるつもりもないし、たまにすっごいムカつくけど。
I mean, that is fine. Especially if you are somewhat close. It happens, getting on each other's nerves every now and then. Especially, I feel like you are mostly talking about the relationship talk. Otherwise, you do seem pretty resistant to her whims. But I really hope that you are not staying as her friend because of out of obligation. it did not feel like that in your last school. It seemed like you were pretty broken up on the whole that she hates you because her secret got out. So I hope those were genuine feelings.
友達だもん。
優しいよミリちゃんは。優しいよ。私はいいと思う。そういうとこ好きだよ。
もっとい
Okay. So I guess we are in a relationship.
厚かましくない？厚かましいとかある？
Okay. I mean, I don't know if this is normal skinship or a little bit more. She seems to see it as a little bit more at least. It would explain why she is not really interested in the guys and she doesn't really want to be talking about it. Now, I do wonder how this relationship came to be because she's in an all-girls school. Did this happen maybe in the old school? How did you come across each other? Going back into the dream world?
エミリ既読遅い。塾なんじゃないの？そうだろうけど。
What does she have? Oh, these are socks. For some reason I thought, what does she have on her feet? No, these are socks. Okay. There's some kind of stuff going on. Now, this is something that Asa probably needs to learn. To respect the people keeping a distance. Sometimes they don't want to answer right away. It's fine. You learn. The same with her questioning Emery about the guy. Because she clearly didn't want to talk about that. And Asa was pestering her. And the second time again, I hope that Asa has learned and is like, I'm not bringing any relationship and you together here. If I have a relationship, I'm going to talk about it. If you have a relationship or something going on, you have to start it because you don't like me trying to pray too much there or pry.
マキオちゃんはさ、なんで返事しないの？
Because I don't want to.
しない時もある。
I feel like you are someone who is unwilling to answer any text unless it is necessary for work or whatever. Mostly because you know if you answer the text, there's a follow-up text and you have to answer that text and now it's a whole conversation that is going on and they can't stop texting you because they want to tell you something and it's like, oh my, I want to work on my novel and don't want to text you right now. Besides, I want to never text you because I don't want to.
ですよ。する時もある。
Especially, this is the problem I have where I'm then writing a whole paragraph and I'm like, no one cares. I'll delete everything. Right, okay. Done.
またそういう。で、なんでしないの？
なんでって、静寂を守りたい時もあるでしょ。
静寂。
That is a very good question. I hope Asa learns. Again, not necessarily that Emery is never going to answer you again. Sometimes people want a little bit peace of quiet.
それって寂しくないって。
It is not something everyone can be comfortable with. Having nothing going on, you alone with your thoughts, can be quite scary for some people,
寂しくないんだろう
like
けど
Arthur.
さ。
分かってきたじゃない。
わかんないわかんない。
Quietness is not the same as lonely.
静寂って砂漠みたいじゃない？
人によるでしょう。草原とか森とか山とか海かも。
Okay, drawing a parallel to Emery. But the desert would fit that as well. Curse, pronounced curse. Spell curse to bind someone. See, break a curse. Also restricting freedom via psychological coercion. Is this like a laptop? What is this?
お疲れ様。どうだった？
楽しかった
残念だったわね。負けちゃって。
別に私勝ちたくてやってないもん。
そうなの？お昼どうしようか。
ねえ、お父さんはどうだった私の歌。
あーさ、痛い。引っ張らないで。
ああ、なんだか目立ってたね。
何それ。
おとなしくしてればいいのに。玉城さんいるだけで目立つんだから。
First thing would have been, you know, for the mom to not really care too much about the competition. I mean, again, it's one of those things you just say without really any meaning. Because she clearly just wanted to sing, she was happy. Dad could have also been a little bit more supportive. Just tell her she did well. You liked seeing her sing, as example. Which I don't know if he did because the dad is questionable. But standing out, I don't know. Not necessarily positive like we see here.
嫌いな感じ？玉城さんのこと。
なんで？違うよ。悪目立ちしない方がいいのにって話。せっかくいじめられなくなったんだから。
How about you stop her from getting bullied then?
いつまた立場が変わるかわかんないし。
そっか、そうだよね。
吉村、急げ。また先輩が切れんぞ。
なあ、俺だけ当たりきつくね。
期待のエースだからだろ。
なんだそれ。
受けないの？オーディション。
うん、受けない。
なんで？
だって怖いじゃん、目立つのって。人前で歌うなんてもううひ
ー。When did this happen, really? Because in the choir thing, she was happy, she was singing, she enjoyed it. Was it because of her dad? Was it because of something else that happened? There was some kind of trigger that led her to retreat and not want to be the focus anymore.
なぜそんな人間がバンドを？
だからベースなの。とにかく受けない、私は。
I feel like she would win. if she tried.
朝ちゃんいけると思うんだけどな。
Did you hear her sing?
この頃、私は探し歩いていた。怒るのにも飽きたのだと思う。喉が渇いた。私は私の孤独に水をやるべきだろうか。
That is a very interesting question. Should I give water to my own loneliness? People are different. For some people, that is a good way to do it. For other people, they do not want to be alone. Or it's not beneficial for them as much.
そうすれば見つかるだろうか。
As always, there's a good balance to be had. Some lean more in this direction, some lean more in that.
私の探すべきものが。
何これ。こんなことあっていいわけないじゃん。
千代、
私もいくらいい点取っても女って理由で不合格にされんの。
Oh, because she wants to be a doctor. Really? Uniform point deductions for female applicants need to medical university accused of arbitrary manipulation. Uniform point deduction. What? So if you... So this ties back into the whole dress behind the thingy for the scientist. So depending on how you are dressed, they can just deduct points. That is insane. Overall, I find this whole system so stupid of the whole male versus female debate in working culture. There are jobs where male do have it is better to have a male in, but there are many jobs it doesn't matter at all if it's male or female, and they should be treated the same for the sake of the job. And not be like, oh yeah, I'm a guy, so I need other guys, I guess. Or this woman doesn't look beautiful enough, so I don't want her in my workplace. It should be like, take the best person for the job, and the rest shouldn't count. Maybe we should go in the direction that we never have a face-to-face meeting for people. They just are like behind some kind of curtain. And that is why these situations are why we have all of these problems, because of some bullshit. I mean, this is just bullshit. This shouldn't happen at all.
信じらんない。なんで今まで誰も正してこなかったの？許せない。絶対に許せない。
目が離せなかった。
I mean, totally valid. Totally valid that she's like, this just bullshit. Even for some small thing, and this is where the state should step in and be like, yo, you can't do this, and they should more or less punish them. Not a slap on the wrist, not the finger wiggle, no, a real punishment. So to act as a deterrent that everyone else is like, you know, it is not in our best interest to be caught, and the easiest way to not be caught is not doing it. The risk is just too high. Punishment is too high. Let's just not do the same. Simple, right? Because it's an insane reason for more or less disqualifying female applicants.